Are we live with audio? So let's see, are we live with audio? So let's see, are we live with audio? Now we are. So that'll take care of that little issue. I don't know what happened. I talked to myself for an hour and a half with no audio. And I didn't even know I wasn't talking with any audio on live stream because I think it was like almost 45 minutes, 40 minutes before insidiousnixies. Old Pete says, hey, no audio. So I scrapped the whole video. So I pretty much boxed everything back up. Not to the degree that it was packed in. It was very well packed. So we're going to do it again and show off my awesome gifts from insidiousnixies. So you see in the background here, I got some nice Australian animals. So we got the a wombat. So we're going to have to name him someday. We got a kookaburra right over here, and then we got Mr. Roo, Mr. Kangaroo. He's got a little, actually Mrs. Roo, because got a little Joey. So we got 2 boxes to open up and check out what's inside. So I'll try to recreate this as best as I can in the order that I open stuff. So I opened the box, of course. Inside, he likes to, old Pete likes to put the cute little things in there. So the first thing that I opened, and if you are watching this in a later date or whatever, is stuff like that. The first thing I got was a Nixie shirt. So very cool. It's got all the dimensions of the tube itself. So we got the CD47. I don't know if that's a real Nixie tube or not. Find out later. And then after that, what we got here is we got some little goodies in here. We got a lot of little goodies. So the next thing that I opened up in the box was a one of them Bluetooth modules where you connect it to an RGB strip. Got the instructions for it. So it's one of them little things that you scan the QR code on the device, and it puts an app on your phone, and then you can play with the colors and the effects if it has stuff like that. So that's pretty cool to have. I do have another somewhere. I'll probably never find it. Something similar. Because I tried a couple of different modules to see what I would want. Because my intention was to, in whatever year, was to have RGB strips on my outdoor trees. As you all know, if you look at my Christmas videos, the big balsam hill that I put outside every year has a RGB dream color strip tape that I first bought, and it was 24 volt. It was really about the only thing you could get that was adequate enough. It was IP67 rated. Had it for many years until the bottom couple of strips started getting breaks in the bus bars and stuff like that, and I would patch it together, and then you'd have to put a big honking adhesive line heat shrink to weatherproof it again. And as time went on, and as it was out in the weather and the sun and stuff, it started getting really yellow, and you couldn't even see through it. So it was like a big ugly yellow blob. And on top of that, during the daytime, you can't really have Christmas lights on in the daytime unless they're incandescent. So all my trees are LED. So you really don't see the LEDs in the daytime. So you got to wait till sundown to see the lights properly. So all them hours out in the sun and stuff like that, the strip itself was getting cloudy and stuff like that. So it was time to retire it. So I retired it with 12 volt, which was way more vivid and stuff like that. But it was the process of looking for a controller for it, and then eventually I got them really, of course, with the strips you needed some horsepower, so you needed some amperage and stuff like that. So enough of that, and then of course he sent along a little, I think it's 5 meters of the RGB strips for you've all seen this stuff, so this is a perfect little light for testing or a small project. Not the most densest RGB strip that I own, because the 12 volt stuff that I got is really dense. It's almost like one LED on top of each other. I think it's like 300 LEDs per meter or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Or 5 meters or whatever it was. Doesn't matter. Very dense. These things come in different densities. Of course, if you want it to look good, the more LEDs is better. So we'll find a little project for these little guys one day, and along with the little controller that I put off to the side here. And then the next thing that he got was something I was thinking about doing in my spare rooms, and maybe even in here at one time, but it was one of them deals where you start thinking about how you want to do it, what you want to do it, what you want to get, and stuff like that. So what he's got, and he offered me, and I'll probably find a use for these fairly soon. Maybe I'll retire my battery operated ones, because right now in my battery in the spare room, or as I say now, the embroidery room, I got these little lights, and they're just a little night light, closet light. So when you go in there, you can go in there quickly. You don't have to turn the main light on and stuff like that. And as long as you are moving around in the room, they'll stay lit. And depending on how many times you're in the room, certain people are in there like 8-9 times a day. The light stays on indefinitely as long as you're moving around here. So these are little PIR sensors that you hook up to a power supply and an LED strip or a light. So it's anywhere from 6 to 24 volts and 5 amps. So you can run quite a bit of lighting off of these little guys. And if you want a little tip to prevent like false triggers, like you're not physically in a room but you're close enough to the door where you trip it, just put a little piece of black tape over the closest side of the entrance. So you got to be further into the room before you trip the light. That's the little secret that I found, because the one light that I got, it's always tripping every time you walk like to the bathroom or you're near somewhere in the kitchen. Well before that light, the light will trip. So like this one, I got it halfway covered. So you got to be physically in the room before the light turns on. So very handy. So just a little tip for you. So free tip Sunday, rainy Sunday. So free tip rainy Sunday from the RollingTardis laboratory. So another handy little gadget to have. And he's got another different version. This one goes in line. So same thing. Probably got the same ratings, stuff like that. And then after that, this little guy he sent. So he said he said to me a little while, well actually 5 months ago, when he first sent the first box, that he was going to send this, but he forgot and stuff like that. So what this is, it's a mug. So if you're familiar with the Def Palm, you know that this is part of his merchandise. So kind of goes in the same category as I do. I fix stuff. Well, I try to fix stuff. and stuff like that. So a nice little handy mug. So if you're want to check out the Death Palm, so it's youtube.com/THEDEFPOM, the Death Palm, all one word. So that's pretty cool to have. He said he's going to send me one. So now he has. So a nice little mug for a cup of tea. And then, of course, it had a surprise inside. So inside the cup, because it was already packaged all nice. So another little single Nixie clock. So this guy is the IN8. So I don't have an IN8. So now I have an IN8. I got that little Japan tube. I think it's a Japan tube. Of course, I got the IN18, and I got the big Delbore single Nixie, and then I got a couple of little VFD single Nixies, and the IN14, which is in the other room, my bedroom, that runs continuously. So now I got an IN8. So almost running out of these little single digit Nixies. There's one more single digit Nixie, and he hangs out like this, and then he has a front firing Nixie tube. I think it's the IN12. I don't have that one yet. So if you've seen these, you've seen them all. They're all over Amazon. They're all over eBay. If you've seen them, they're relatively, the kit itself, it's one of them deals where you buy the base. It doesn't come with a Nixie, so it comes like this. So you've got to buy your own Nixie. So Peter was gracious enough to send me not one, but two IN8s. So these guys are rigid pin. So no having to worry about fussing with the wires and having getting them all straight and then pins. So just plug and play. Get them in there. And of course I got a full video on my channel how to program these, because they don't come with instructions, and sometimes depending on the seller you have to ask them to email you or message you a detailed how to program it, because it is it's a little confusing. So I got a video on that, so you can go back in the channel or search that, how to program a single Nixie or something like that. So here's what that little guy looks like. Of course the ring light will absolutely kill it. So of course it's RGB, so you can shut off the RGBs or have it on a single color of your choosing or your favorite color and stuff like that. So another single Nixie to add to my collection, which is always welcome. I like that one. So thanks Pete for that. And of course I got the spare, because you never know with these tubes. These tubes are, this one is from 1983, so this one's from 1983. I've already opened it. I know what it looks like. So these are Russian tubes, because they have the CCP logo on them. So true Russian Vladimir tubes. So you know they're a good tube. Of course, also provided with the kit was the USB-C connector. So they got with the times and they stopped using the USB micro, because probably had some issues with them. They're a very weak connector. This weak connector, where they, if you flex it one too many times, it breaks. So then the next thing that was sent, I'll move this out of the way before I break it, because in this place things get broke easily if it gets knocked over. A little desk fan. So a little USB fan. Nothing super fancy, nothing super powerful, but sometimes these little guys come in handy for certain little things. So no speed, it's just on or off, it's USB. And I already tested the wind coming out of it. So here's the, for you fan buffs, it's got a pretty steep blade for a 5-volt fan. but definitely not a powerhouse and stuff like that. So this little guy, he's a little heavy, so you gotta adjust the feet to a certain way so you don't tip over. Luckily we got power here, so we can give him a little quick spin up. So if you ever need just a little breeze blowing on your face or something like that, for me during the morning hours, I can help it dry the mop out, when I reset my curls, because when I wake up in the morning, I got pretty bad bedhead where it's a disaster. It doesn't look nice. So I got my little anemometer out. It's about a 5.5 mile per hour little breeze coming off this. It's pretty quiet. It's not a tornado will blow you right out of the chair. So that'll come in handy. Comes in handy if you're not into having a full fume extractor, or blow the smoke, toward your partner in the back of a building or something like that. Blow smoke over to him, so, stuff like that. So pretty cool. That'll come in handy every once in a while, especially if you want to dry some glue or dry some paint or dry your hair or something like that. Or just have a little breeze blowing you, and that's not a little bit quieter than a regular tornado fan, because you all know I'm a tornado guy. I like my tornadoes. Stuff like that. So that's cool. And then the next thing that was sent in the box was a plethora of Nixie tubes. So in the first case here, IN17s. Now these guys are a little interesting. These guys are the same shape factor as an IN12, but these guys are tiny. Look how tiny that is. So these are microscopic. Very tiny. These are most of these guys are I believe they were all 1986, so all matched pair of these little IN17s. So have to get a clock kit for these little guys. These are Russian tubes. You can see the CCP logo on them. So very cool. Very cool to have them. All new, old stock and stuff like that. And then the second little case here, which is very cool to have. A bunch of these little, and I know what these. I know what these are for. These are part of another kit that he sent. So these are the sockets for that kit for IN12 subscriber counter. So a couple more little bits for that. So if you don't know what that is, go back to my other video 5 months ago where I had a video on the first couple of packages from insidiousnixies, and sent me a YouTube counter kit. It's not just a bare board right now, so there's the sockets for them. And then we got these little interesting things. These are IN28s back from the 84. So these little guys are unique too. So if you're familiar with the Nixie tube, you all know that they got numerals in them or letters in them at a certain point. These little guys, they only got one cathode in them, and they're kind of like a cat's eye. So I don't know how well you can see it, but there's only one. There's only one cathode in here. So these will have a very unique purpose for something. Maybe you can build maybe someday I'll get a 3D printer and I'll make a cat and have these like two eyeballs staring at cat's eyes. Because what they look like, they're kind of oval, like a cat's eye. So that's pretty cool. Never seen them guys. And then something that's very fancy for Nixie clocks. So, you know how I had that giveaway clock with the 6 IN14 Nixie tubes. And you don't know how to center the bottom of the Nixies. They're never sort of finished. You always see like the wires and stuff like that. So these rings, these are for IN14 and similar type of tubes. So these little guys, let's pretend that's a IN14. It's a little loose, but it'll work, and it'll show you a good demonstration. So you got a Nixie clock like this. Very nice, very simple, very, elegant in itself. But if you want to dress it up, make it look a little extra special, you can buy these little brass rings. You can find them. They're a little tough to find, but they're around. So that just gives it an extra wow factor. So you can just imagine having, not necessarily a one banger like this, but having a 6-pack or a 4-pack with brass rings around the bottom of the tubes. So when you light her up, you don't see what's going on the bottom of the tube. It kind of hides it a little bit. So when you got it all lit up, just gives it a little extra pop. And I think that is a good looking trim ring for these Nixie tubes. Very cool. So they'll come in handy for one of my projects. Now, if you're wondering about that giveaway clock, it's in a happy home, and of course, I says to Z-Count, I do remember it was Z-Count who got that Nixie clock, but I did buy another one of them clocks, and I got all the tubes for it. I got all that, so more than likely, since that's a nice red base, that's where them trim rings will go. Of course, someday I'll have to have a spot for that clock, because right now I don't have a spot for it. But I will remember to put some trim rings around it. Or maybe someday I'll have another IN14 type clock tube with the same diameter tube, and I'll put the rings around that one. So, speaking of tubes, he sent me a bunch of tubes. So I got a bunch more IN14s and IN16s. So just in case I need to replace a tube, because you don't know how long these little guys are going to last, because as we all seen with Yana over there, how many times I had to replace the tubes on her. Certain tubes that decided to take a crap. So plenty of new old stock tubes to have and stuff like that. So our next little box, our final little box of spare tubes to have, I got a box of IN8s and -2s. So here's a whole plethora. Now, there was a little tragedy with these little guys. You see on this heat, this compartment here, both tubes were shattered, so they didn't make the trip. They I didn't even notice them until I took them out. I didn't, because I had them laid flat, and so when I took them out, took the first one out, said, "Oh, look at that, nice looking tube." Then I took the second one out, noticed it was all shattered. Went back to the first one I picked out, it was all cracked. So we all know cracked glass means that the tube's all been gassed out and stuff like that. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-pack of IN8s. So plenty of tubes to have on hand. So that takes care of that. And then the final thing in the box was something that I was kind of curious on what Insidious Nixies has. He has something similar. He has a little kit, a clock, not really necessarily a clock, but, well, it is a clock, but it also tells the temperature and the humidity. So it was a 5-banger. There used to be a person on eBay that sold the kits, not this particular kind, but something similar, and it was probably like a startup thing where the guy wanted to generate some money, maybe for college or something like that. So the user was still available on eBay, and I emailed them never got a response back. I said it'd be really nice if you brought these back, or if you found somebody to recreate this, because I think it's really cool. So this little guy, no instructions on him, so this is probably something I would have to probably take the base apart to see if there's any information on the board, to see where or who or what come to be for this little guy. So this little guy, most of the lettering on the tubes, there's only one tube that's got lettering on it that's left. It's this tube here. It's a IN19A, so it's one of them. So 3 tubes are probably IN14s, and then the last tubes are the IN19A and I think 19B, but the lettering is gone, and I don't remember which flavor of lettered Nixie tubes belongs to what. So this little guy uses a USB mini plug, so you can tell it's been around for a while. So this is what this little guy looks like when he gets lit up. So he tells the temperature in Celsius and the 40% humidity. And that's what this guy does. That's what he cycles back and forth with. So very cool. And he is backlit with blue LEDs. So I don't know if there's an interface on this or not. So I'll have to pop the tops or pop the bottom off to see if there's any information on the board. Luckily, maybe there's a website on there I can go back and find where it is. So that is something very cool. A 5-tube temperature and humidity display. So that's pretty cool to have. It's kind of similar to my other temperature Nixie sensor that I have that I built back in either December. I think it was December I built it, because I remember it was Christmas time or Christmas season, because I had the tree up in here and the tree was out in the other room there. So that's the time I was built it, and the same time that I built that other giveaway clock. So very nice piece. It's in rose gold, so very nice piece, nice polished, looks real good. Nice desk piece, that's for sure. So that is the end of box 1. So now we will move on to box 2, which also includes a birthday present, which I will open. Of course, I already opened it, so I know exactly what it is, and it's very cool. And this sucker, what's in here, is extraordinary. So, thanks Pete for this awesome gift, because him and we had a discussion on this particular website, which I will show you shortly. So we got a couple other little bits to show off in a little bit. I can't get out of the box, but the big box is holding it in place. But that's okay. It keeps it out of sight. So, can come packaged. It got packaged in a tub. So we got some box fillers in here. So these little guys are very handy for cleaning, especially cleaning Nixie tube glass. Because like this little guy back here, he's been running for a little while. But I also had the humidifiers, the ultrasonic humidifiers, so they get all cloudy and stuff like that. So a little update to Pete for that little Japan-made Nixie. That original tube that it came with, it didn't survive very long. It only lasted a couple of months, and then for whatever reason, it arced over inside. for the anode, and I believe either 0 and 1 were affected, and the blowout was so bad it actually turned the back of the glass copper colored. So every time the numerals would light up, the bottom of the pins of the base of the Nixie would light up, so it would never light the digit, the cathode of the tube. So I went on eBay and I bought a couple and replaced it. So it must have been a Japan made too, so we're bad. So him and I had Mr. P and I had a nice discussion because he found this particular website that builds and has DIY kits for all these very interesting looking Nixie clocks and stuff like that. So him and I discussed on that on like very ornate Nixie clocks and very interesting pieces that they offer for sale and stuff like that. So good old P, he actually bought me one, and it came. I already peeled the protective color, so it's from Cool Clocks. So KOLKOOLKLOX, and this one has been inscripted with RollingTardis semicolon YouTube. So I think I turned the friggin' ring light off, and you really can't see it very well, but it's there. So I'll turn it around just in case the image is backwards on YouTube. So this is the back plate of the clock kit. So very cool from Cool Clocks. So if you go to coolclocks.com, I believe that's the website. If you go on that site, very ornate clocks on there. Some very cool clocks, and of course, with the coolness factor, is also the cost factor. So quite a bit of money spent on that clock for a present. So I'm very, very grateful to have one from Peter. So this is a clock kit. So it is in kit form, and this is something extra special, especially for the nerds that like Nixie clocks and also like them binary clocks, because there's certain people out there that love binary clocks. They're anal over them, and to have a combination of both of them on one board, holy crap, man! So the Nixies are going to go on top, and then there's a bunch of little LEDs mixed within the board that will give you the binary portion of the display, and it's all through hole. So even the most novice solderer can build these. Of course, there's probably a few hundred parts and probably a few thousand solder connections to be soldered up on these little guys, but probably can be done within a day if you had the time. Of course, right now I'm still on probation, so I don't have any vacation time built up yet, but it's in April, so I would imagine within the next 2 months that window of vacation time will open. Of course, I do need some time to put up all the stuff at the end of the year, and then whatever days are remaining, screw around and play here in the lab. So this particular clock, so this is the Nixie decimal display. So it's got from the Cool Clocks, so it's the Nixie binary 1 hertz generator, and of course it was probably made in USA, so that's pretty cool. And this guy is dated back from 2010. So if you want to check these out, coolclocks.com, KOLKLOX.com. They're still in business, still selling clocks and stuff like that. They got some really neat clocks, very interesting clocks. If you're looking for something that's really unique, this place has got it. I'm going to have one So these guys use iron 12s for the top of the display. And of course all the little bits and pieces are in the bag. So these little guys will go in the top here. And throughout the midsection here. Put you on camera. So top of the board will be Nixies, and then the center section here is the Valiantary portion of the Nixies, where the clock hit, which will house LEDs. So we got a 6-pack. We actually got 7 tubes, so we get spare just in case one is gassed out, because we don't know. These things get bounced around, so you don't know how long these guys will last. Kind of like Yana over there, where the tube worked for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and then it gassed out. So that's a minor risk to endure with Nixie tubes, just in case. You should have plenty of spares just in case something like a situation like Yana occurs, that you can promptly repair it if you're adequate. So big honking transformer that we got to put in. Thing's got to be at least a third of a pound. Thing's heavy. So this little guy takes 115 volts and 2x 115 volts, and then 2x 5 volts, and then 2 times 2.5 volts. So there's 3 voltages in this little guy. So 1 input, 1 output, and I would imagine it uses buttons. Let's see what kind of connector it uses. Line 1, line 2. Might be AC, I don't know. So I'll have to go to the website and get the build instructions for it, because it didn't come with them, which is kind of like one of the modern things of a lot of stuff today. They don't want you to ship you a paper manual. Go on their website and just download it. So a bunch of transistors that'll have to be soldered in. So don't know how many varieties are in there. There could be a couple of different varieties of the transistors in there. We got a bunch of ICs, probably counting chips and Nixie drivers and stuff like that. Of course, we got there's no sockets for the IN12s, but it does come with the pins. So you stick the pins on the Nixie and then solder the whole thing together and stuff like that. And then a bunch of buttons, some regulators and some jumpers. And a DC jack. So that's another reason why I got to get the manual, because I don't know what voltage the clock takes. Could be a 5-volt clock, could be a 12-volt clock, could be a 24-volt clock. Don't know. Of course, a bunch of resistors that got to be soldered in, and diodes and crap capacitors, because your kit is only as good as the crap capacitors. A bunch of LEDs for the binary section of the clock. So I don't know what color these guys are. We got a little battery here. Nope, not one available. Used to be one sitting there. So we'll find out later what color they are. All the IC chip sockets, so soldered in the chip sockets, and then you just plug in the chips, and then some standoffs for the acrylic pieces. So that's going to be a cool build to build that one. So I never had a Nixie / binary clock, so that's going to be very cool to build. Stuff like that. So we'll put him back in the box. We'll put all the acrylic pieces back in. Because someday we'll build him. So, thanks again, Peter, for that awesome gift, which is a very awesome gift to have. I mean, it's not like it's an inexpensive little item. It's quite pricey. And on top of that, you know, the big risk of having it shipped over here, because you never know about the shipping. It could have got lost, stuff like that. And then the final portion of the package was the birthday gift. So currently it is May 5th, so in 15 days it is my official birthday. So he sent me a birthday present. So he did have it for birthday only, but we're going to open up early because I'm not a big birthday type guy. I like to stay under the radar, even though I still look like I'm 21. So it says, happy birthday, Michael. Have a great day. Enjoy the limited edition TARDIS Blue LOL torch. Cheers, Peter and Wayne. So Wayne is Peter's wombat's name. So Peter has a stuffed wombat, like I bought a stuffed wombat. So we need to find a name for my wombat. So I kind of named the Kookaburra. Hey Cookie the Kookaburra. And then we got Ms. Roo, the kangaroo. And of course, the card says, the official title of the card, it says, I said age hasn't affected you at all. What? And there's a little picture of a, more like a beaver. And then sorry's, P.S. Wayne ate your Humpty Dumpty, which I do not know what that means. What is your definition of Humpty Dumpty? So you'll have to email me that. So the front of the card it says, don't worry about another birthday. Age hasn't affected you at all. So thank you so much. Not many people send me cards. Especially a Hallmark card, which I don't know is probably about $8-9 by now. And then inside the card was a bunch of little decals, which are quite amusing. So we got a classic NE 555 little decal, and then we got shake hands with danger. And then on the back it says, from PTA sticker, Wayne the Wombat. This is from Wayne the Wombat. Happy birthday. Very cute. Oh, that's a good one. It says, danger. We'll read them off. So it says, danger. Not only will this kill you, it will hurt the whole time that you are dying. So that is definitely some wishes that I wish on certain people that I no longer have to be around anymore. And then, of course, never look into a laser. That was the biggest gag where I used to work. We used to have one of them laser levels where you could survey the land. So we had this kid working with us. So one of the other guys says to the kid that says, the first thing you do when you set up the transom is look directly into the laser to calibrate it. But the kid was a little bit smarter than that, never fell for it. And our final little deck note, it says, caution, magic smoke cannot be reinserted once released. How true. Very, very true. We all know about the magic smoke. And if you don't know about the magic smoke, for you people who have never come across it, someday you will find out what the magic smoke is. And then the very final item, well, actually 2 items he sent me. One was this silver coin. So it's 2022, and it's 1 ounce of 99.99 pure silver. So it's a silver coin on front of the, or back, depending on how you interpret it here, is a wombat. And then on the back, of course, it's the queen herself. It says Elizabeth II, Australia, $1. So a little collector's coin of 99.99% silver. So that's special to have that. And then the final, like I said in the card, was a special limited edition torch. I'll use the term torch because that's what they use over on the other side. And it's a very cool Olight, the pre-run 2. So this is one of them right angle jobs, and it has a unique task for it. So it's one of them clip-on lights that you can like clip it on a shirt if you got like a heavy-duty shirt pocket and you need to shine a light on what you're doing or something like that. But this also not only is that type of a torch or regular torch that you shine around, but it's also a headband torch. So if you ever see them Olight torches, this is exactly what this is. And it comes in blue. This one came in blue. So Peter nicknamed it TARDIS Blue. So very nice Olight. I never had an Olight brand. I did look at them in the time that I was looking for them, but I kind of chose on a brand. I forget what it is. I got some Thors, but I got videos on torches and stuff like that. So it's got a clip on the back, removable clip, and it's a dual-purpose clip. So you can clip it going down, but you can also clip it going the other way. So I don't know if you've ever seen that type of a clip where you can go this way or you can go that way to clip it. So you can clip it like this, or you can clip it like this. Either way. So very cool and very simple to use. I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. So inside the kit, inside the torch, is their very own brand Olight 21700s, 4 amp hour, 3.6 out, 3.6 volt lithium cell. So that's their light, goes in the torch body. So being that it's a name brand, more than likely they're 4 amp hour, probably very close at or slightly above their rated capacity. So very cool. It's got O-rings around it, so it's somewhat water resistant, stuff like that. So very simple to operating. It's just the buttons right on top. So we got I think the default is medium, and that's all you got to do is push and hold. So there's high, low, medium, high, and then on, off, which is all you need. You don't need all that fancy SOS or strobe. It just needs to go on and off and whatever light setting you want. So pretty bright little torch here. It's max 2500 lumens with 166 meter maximum throw. So being that this is a combination torch, I mean, it's more intended to be a headband torch. So more than enough light to do and see what you're doing. So very cool, very unique way to charge this. I'll show you in a little while. So very nice Apple type box, the way it comes packaged and stuff like that. So very nice presentation case. course, we got the instructions and all the specifications on this little guy, so if you want to take the time to read that. Of course, it comes in several different languages, and of course, before first use, charge it. But prior to charging it, you got to open it up and take out all the protective films to keep it, just in case it got turned on in shipping and ran the battery down and stuff like that. So we got of course, different modes here. We got a turbo. Of course, there's moon mode, low mode, medium mode, high mode, and turbo. Of course, I got to read the instructions how to change that. It says change brightness level when the light is on. Press and hold the switch to cycle through the mode sequence: moonlight or turbo, SOS, low, medium, high. Low is the mode selected when the switch is released. Moon mode, when the light is off or in standby mode, press and hold the switch for over 1 second to access the moon mode. So right now it's off, so that's moon mode. So very, very dim. So in case you're in a power outage where you know you're going to be out in the dark for a long time, you don't want to use up all your battery power right away. So you can have this on and have it sitting somewhere, lighting something in case you need to go and grab it, and have this on for an extended period of time. So don't know exactly how long it'll last. There's probably specifications on the website to show you the time frame. So it says low-ish, that's the distance, blah, blah, blah. Probably on the website. Oh, okay, here it is. It's a very fine print. So turbo, and of course it dumbs itself down. So you'll get the full 2500 lumens for about 2 minutes, and then it'll dumb down to about, can't tell what that says, it's too small. I don't have my little magnifier here, it disappeared. I think it says 80% brightness. And that'll run for 130 minutes, and then it drops some more to 20%, and it'll run for additional 45 minutes. And then high is about 500 lumens. It'll run at 100% for 240 minutes, and then it'll dumb down to about 50%, and it'll run for an additional 30 minutes before it shuts off. And then the moon mode, medium, will run 120 lumens for about 18 hours. Low will run at 30 lumens, and that'll run for 66 hours. And the moon mode, which is 5 lumens, will run on a fully charged battery for 12.5 days. So very cool to have something like that hanging around. So let's see. Change brightness level. We already know how to change the brightness levels. How to do direct access turbo. Enter and exit turbo mode. Quickly double click to switch to enter turbo mode. So let's see. We'll turn him off. So we got our regular low. Oh. How do I exit moon mode? So there's the double click to get it to turbo mode. So it'll run for a certain while, and then it'll dumb itself down. So a little bit of a learning curve with all these little torches that you got to figure out the sequence. But it's all right here in black and white. So once you learn how to use her, then once you develop the muscle memory and how to run it, it comes easier. So like I said, this is a headband type of torch. So I do have other type of headband type torches to use. So if you don't know what a headband torch looks like, this is this particular model torch. So you got to unfurl the torch, and then you stick the. Sometimes it's easier to take the clip off and then insert it through the rubbers. So there's your headband torch, and of course, depending on whether you're a lefty or a righty, you have the button on the left or right. And then when you want it in headband mode, you put it on. And then, of course, you're having the indefinite tilting angles. You can just put it on, and then you can just, and being that it, depending on what light level you got, you can get quite a bit of runtime off of seeing what you're doing. And of course, being an infinite adjustability, you can have it if you're walking at night. You can have it, pointing toward the ground, or a little bit out ahead of you, or you can have it out in like high beam mode, or if you're working, you can have it like this and stuff like that. So pretty cool to have. Of course, every once in a while, a headband torch doesn't come in handy for certain situations where you need to have your both hands and you got nowhere to put a regular torch to hang around. So that's pretty cool to have. So the final little feature of this little guy is, of course, it is a rechargeable torch. This one has a unique little charger on it. So it's a magnetic base charger to charge him. And of course it comes with a here comes Murdoch oh crap handle. So you feed this through the little hole on the end of the bottom of the torch here. You can barely see it, but it's there. So you feed the little wire. It gives you a little hook to help you feed the wire in case you can't thread the needle. So that's always handy to have. And of course the little charger. So the little charger is a a unique charger just for this particular model flashlight. It's magnetic. So it's USB, 5 volts. Comes with it's got a little LED light on it, and it's magnetic. So it's once it comes anywhere near it, it's just like whoop. And then when it needs to be charged, the little LED turns red until it's done charging, and then when it's done charging, it turns green. So pretty neat to have. So more than likely it will stand up on its own. Probably a little tip there is get a little piece of double stick tape. If you got a dedicated spot where you know you're going to have this all the time, just double stick it taped to something solid, so you don't knock it over and stuff like that. It will always, because when you pull it up, you need it, you're tethered. So if you have a little piece of tape on there, once you pull it up, then you leave the charger on. So that is that for the show and tell. Of course, here's the little hook that it gives you, a little, like I said, the little MacGyver hook. So you stick the little hook in there, get the lanyard. One-time use. After that, you probably lose it. You'll never find it again unless you leave it in the box. So feed it through, hook it on upon itself, tighten it up. And of course, something of this nice nature, you definitely want to lanyard it so you don't lose it in case you stumble over something in the dark. So just in case you fall and you're like, oh no, you'll never lose it, because there's countless people who have all these nice torches, and they'll go out in the dark and they'll stumble on something, and then they'll trip, and their torch falls in the drink or in the crack of a cave, and you'll never retrieve it. You never have a chance of ever getting it or seeing it again. So thanks to Mr. Insidiousnixies, Mr. Pete, for once again providing me with all this awesome Nixie stuff, clock kits, thermometers, humidity sensors, extra tubes, Nixie clocks, another awesome single Nixies, a mug. Of course, I got the gang here, a little USB fan, PIR sensors, RGB stuff, plenty of spares, a t-shirt, that awesome Cool Clocks kit need to be built, some more microfiber towels to keep all your Nixie tubes nice and bright and shiny, and of course the birthday present of this awesome Olight in TARDIS Blue, aka TARDIS Blue. So thanks again, Pete. I appreciate it. Of course, I know your story. We've been rolling back and forth with the punches and stuff like that. I know Pete's story. My little story is, because we all know that I had a big career change, but I also have had a little health scare of my own. It's been probably about maybe 5-6 years ago, starting in on the gallstones. So 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, had one pop out, and of course, if you ever had gallstones, the severe pain, the lack of eating, your bowel movements are all messed up, you don't feel like eating, you drop weight, and stuff like that. I mean, the 2 weeks I wasn't really into it. I lost like 10 pounds. So I felt it pass. There was actually a time where I did think about going to the ER, because that's how bad it was. But for whatever reason, probably that guy up there says he popped it, or it popped itself. I felt it pop, but what happened was it popped out of the gallbladder, but it still got to travel down the main pipe to get into your intestines. So that got a little slow going. So the biggest problem is that your gallbladder is not the only thing that's connected to a pipe. So if you look at your body, you got your big old liver. Your liver has a drain on it that goes to your intestines. So you got your big main drain line, you got the little offset for your gallbladder. So once that stone popped out, that got cleared. You know when it's cleared, and I know when it's cleared, because I'll feel a little quiver and I'll feel it pop out. But it has to travel down the main drain line. So what happens is that it's small enough to go through quickly, or it goes down very slowly. So what happens is that your liver can't drain, and then you got to be on the lookout for jaundice, which is the yellowing of your skin, like your fingertips. You got to watch the white of your eyes. So if you notice, and on top of that, you'll have really, really reddish orange, almost orange like my hair, urine. So during that time frame, as it's passing, you got to drink lots and lots of fluids. And sadly, your kidneys have to take the brunt of getting all that crap out of your bloodstream. Otherwise, if it keeps going on for another couple of days, you got to go to the ER and get that operated on immediately, because if your liver doesn't drain, eventually your blood gets so full of poison that eventually you'll succumb. So I've had several of these, so I know exactly that I'm playing with a little roulette, and I shouldn't be doing that. Now that I got healthcare coverage, if it ever happens again where it is a big serious problem, I can get it worked on. without having to pay a small fortune for that type of service. But enough of me. I know Peter's story and stuff like that. He's going through a little financial trouble, but it'll all work out in the end, and we will all have a better day. So thanks again to Pete of insidiousnixies. He has a YouTube channel, insidiousnixies, semicolon YouTube, and stuff like that. Visit his channel, subscribe to this channel, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. So, a little unusual video. Usually I don't do live streams, but I didn't feel like doing the normal production videos, just do it live and stuff like that. So I did a couple of live streams, so I don't know why the first one didn't have any audio on it for whatever reason. I will blame the YouTube app on that. So the app is working now, so that's it for this live stream. Someday we'll see you on the next live stream, so that's it for now. And thanks again to Pete. That's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.